Hello, and welcome to Navigating to Success. I'm Jeff Carlton, certified focal point business and executive coach. Happy to feature Luke Robinson today, co-owner of Crazy Dogs LLC, which he'll tell us about. And he's also full-time with the state of Montana at the Montana Department of Commerce. Words are hard on a Friday, folks. As a development specialist. Focused on equity for Native entrepreneurs. So, welcome, Luke.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So, let's start off with Crazy Dogs. Tell us about Crazy Dogs.
All right, Crazy Dogs is a new kind of a branch off the original company, which was founded by my cousin, Three Feather Star Quilts, and that's down in the Southwest right now. So Crazy Dogs will be more of an offshoot with merch, apparel, helping out with the brand in that sense, and bringing it possibly up to Montana or the Dakotas. And yeah, it's a Native American owned business, and it's been going for over a decade. So
So, tell everyone what it does. What what do you do? What do you make?
yeah, what it does, Crazy Dogs will be making retail apparel, just t-shirts, hoodies for a wide range of people. But we follow, say, certain vendors, and we go to, say, powwows and other networking events. And Crazy Dogs is going to be more of a bringing people together for social gatherings and put on some networking events, maybe some sewing classes on how to do the traditional star quilts, things like that, and just offer some education about, um, items like that, networking and other fun stuff like that.
Cool. Very cool. And how long have you had that going?
Yeah, that was a new idea. And last year in March, I went down to a powwow. We met a Native American celebrity was at the powwow. Adam Beach, and he was with our stand at Three Feathers, and he was helping my cousin pitch the idea of starting something new like this so we could have our own um, vendor events, invite people in to, offer food, other activities, and things like that, and network for social gatherings. And that's where Crazy Dogs came out of it. Let's go up north. Maybe my cousin and I are both from Montana, so wanted to bring it back to this area and start something new.
So where did your cousins found it? Where is it at right now?
Yeah, it was founded in Denver originally, but right now it's in Albuquerque. I was
Oh,
just
okay.
there a few days ago.
So you're
Yeah,
really spanning a lot of geography here. You're getting a lot you got a big net.
yeah, it's a wide coverage, pretty popular across the states too and Canada, so it's a good going business.
Fantastic. Right on. Well, I look forward to following that journey. What's next for it? Where do you see it going in the next year or two?
Yeah, we were just working this week on it as well, and we're thinking possibly the Dakotas. We met with I'll call them a Native Community Development Financial Institution out there. And I have another cousin that works there, so it's all connected. But they were inviting us to set up shop for wholesale distribution there, start hiring some people there in that network, and then do some like a retail store there as well. So they have a lot of resources, looking to relocate maybe from Albuquerque up to, say, South Dakota soon in the next 12 months. So that's the plan.
Very cool. And I would say because you're in Helena, correct?
Excuse me, I reward. Yes, Helena's the headquarters. I work remotely in Billings.
Okay. In mid to late August is the Montana Cultural Fair in Great Falls. You might want to make sure that you get in and participate in that.
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds good.
So we'll get details on that later. So we can come back to Crazy Dogs here in a minute, but tell me a little bit about what you're doing as the entrepreneur development specialist for the state of Montana.
Great. Yeah, thanks, Jeff. That kind of ties in with this. The Native Entrepreneur Development Specialist is my title, and I've been doing that for a couple of years now as I run a small business grant, the Native or Indian Equity Fund Small Business Grant, which injects up to 14,000 bucks into a Native-owned business primarily on the reservations in Montana tribes and the Little Shell Band of Chippewa. So they don't have a reservation per se, but they're, it's around a certain area and they can buy a cash flowing asset, equipment, property, plant equipment, stuff like that to inject into their balance sheet on their business.
Very cool. Any specific area of focus? I mean, what kind of businesses is the state trying to grow?
Yeah. Well, to be honest, the state is trying to grow more tourism business. So put a pin on that. There is an offshoot coming up this summer of my grant, a little, sibling grant called the Indian Equity Fund Tourism Grant. So that's run by my coworker, Rochelle Brown, and she'll be doing that. But me, I see everything from the fashion industry to food trucks and then a few rental properties, stuff like that. So there's just a gamut of things, maybe some restaurants here and there.
Very cool. So in a given fiscal year, how much grant money is your office able to push out?
That's a great question. We have a smaller budget, but still, regardless, we push out annually 320,000 to these native-owned businesses. So about 24 grants, about three per tribe. And then I got to note that I couple that with another 160 for these. I call them the Native American Business Advisors Network. They consist of the native CDFI, as I mentioned, tribal enterprises, and the SBDCs, a couple of them that help offer free technical assistance in applying for loans and applying for the Indian Equity Fund grant.
Okay, cool. How complicated is or easy is the process for people? How do they go if somebody sees this and they're like going, "Oh, hey, I probably qualify. How do I do this?"
Great. It used to be a little complicated and it required a full-on business plan, but now we've narrowed it down to a strong executive summary and as well as the cash flow projections, which we pay a lot of detail and attention to. It's a competitive grant and people apply for it year after year sometimes and finally end up getting it. But they must get assistance from those NABAs, the Native American Business Advisors, to have a higher chance of getting it because I cannot help them myself because we grade them. But yeah, it's just been a pretty well-rounded process.
How long has the program been in place? Is this a fairly new initiative or has it been around for 20 years?
Yeah, more a couple decades that area. I had an uncle, Major Robinson, and Kim Pate, just a plethora of others, that paved the way for this grant to come out in legislation, and it's been a success since. So trying to be a good steward over it.
So 20 years, any rock band that's been in business for 20 years has at least one or two greatest hits. Or what are some greatest hits? What's been the impact?
Oh gosh, that's great. The impact has been the economic development and quite a few jobs. It's hard to create a job from 14,000 bucks, but at the same time, they do hire part-time. There's a couple good ones up in Flathead Valley, Flathead, for the Polson area that were pretty good. Um, gosh, they come out with a report each year and they're all listed there. But um, there was a I like the fashion ones. I think Rebecca Jarvie got one. She did a lot with it too, and she's a fashionista, and that was a pretty good grant.
Fantastic. Well, and then that's always, people want to hear the success stories. Um, so let's talk about the opposite end of the spectrum from the success stories. Let's talk about what do you see as the one or two biggest challenges that startup entrepreneurs are having right now in Montana and the tribes?
Yeah, in Indian country, a lot of it is the structural integrity of the reservation areas with infrastructure, buildings, locations to put their business in, house their business, startup. Second is, yeah, just what I said there, housing as well. Hard to bring in dollars or business and other entrepreneurs with limited housing access. And lastly, I was just more thinking about maybe the idea of money, the trauma, the financial idea of money from some of those entrepreneurs out there too, and just individuals. So that coupled with getting maybe the traditional financial institutions to kind of work a little bit more with the tribes and tribal individuals. You know, it's kind of hard because it's a lot of time rural, women owned, veteran owned, that kind of thing. And yeah, those larger institutions have a little, you know, tougher time figuring out how to work with those individuals.
Now, do those businesses primarily operate within the tribal system, within the reservations, or are they are these uh, businesses that are being developed within the nations and then expanding out into the greater population across the state? What is there any pattern to that?
Yeah, that's a great question. There is some trends on that, being the individual entrepreneur will start on the reservation maybe and grow to a certain point, while they only have to get the registration from the Tribal Enterprise, Tribal Employee Rights Office, TARO. And then once they branch out off res and go to the state level, maybe we'll just say that, and they must become certified with the Secretary of State, get their licenses, certifications. Kind of, there was an attempt to have some reciprocity and dual recognition, but that's still in the works. From there, you see the tribe sometimes take advantage of some of the tax codes, like the Section 17, become a separated entity from the tribe and be able to do business with, you know, anybody without worry of tribal sovereignty, other issues like that, um, trust land, etc. So
So that was a whole bunch of stuff I didn't understand. So it's really important if you don't understand it either, and you're involved in any of this type of commerce, that you get in touch with Luke and figure that stuff out because it sounds like it's a good chance to get in trouble. And there's a right way and a wrong way.
that's for sure. Yeah, that's the pattern there. So definitely give me a shout.
All right, cool. And how accessible, how do people find you? What is the best way?
The best way is simply indiancountry.mt.gov, the state website, uh, Department of Commerce website. There's the Indian Country programs within there, and my team and myself are listed on there. So yeah,
Fantastic. Well, let's close it up and go switch back and talk about Crazy Dogs, and what your plan is. So it's down and out, started in Denver, down in Albuquerque now, trying to bring it back up into Montana and the Dakotas. What's happening in the next 90 days for Crazy Dogs? What are your big events that people
oh,
could find you?
okay. I think that we shall be going to Mandan Hidatsa Rikara powwow up in their nation in North Dakota and setting up there. That's one event we're doing. And within the next 90 days, yeah, you'll see us working with Four Bands Community Development out in, I think, Eagle Butte. So that's where we might set up shop next and work with them individually. Um, yeah, this summer's not too packed yet, but that's the most recent stuff we're doing.
All right, fantastic. Well, it's exciting stuff. It's good stuff. It's tremendous opportunity for people that do qualify, and obviously business to business opportunities because it's very rare that a business is able to exist without having to rely on another business for some element of supply. So it's a trade-off. So get educated on that and figure out how you can interact with these people because this is a great, it's a really cool program. What's going on with the Montana Department of Commerce and what you're doing as an entrepreneur with Crazy Dogs. So I'm looking forward to see what you do next.
Excellent. Thank you.
Any parting shots to close us out?
Yeah, just you know, I love working in Montana, I love this nation and just working with the individuals across the state. A lot of ton of networking, referral commerce, things like that. Hold on there, just yeah. And then for individual entrepreneurs, there are so many resources at the federal, state, and local level too to take advantage of, and excellent partners and resources throughout that area and Indian country as well. So thank you.
Yeah, and that's a great message to end it on is and it's been a little bit of a theme the last couple months on navigating to success is that don't try and walk alone. Um, you're there is help out there for entrepreneurs. So if you hit a stuck, you're in the ditch, call for help, you know. Find somebody that can help you navigate what your next barrier is so that you can get to the top of the mountain. So yeah, I appreciate that. That's really good. So Luke, thank you so much for joining me on this one. And for everybody watching, appreciate your support. Please subscribe and always catch another business journey explored like Luke's. So again, Luke, thank you very much.
A pleasure. Thank you, Jeff.